美国大概最著名的外交官前国务卿 Kissinger 最近接受了 CBS 电视台对他的访问。对他的访问，他将今年迎来他100岁。他脑筋清楚呢，比如说中间在访问过程当中 ，Copper 就谈到了某些议题，然后在那些议题里头，他很快的想要简化的带过，这是电视节目的缺点啊。电视节目本身呢，希望节奏快，所以往往一件事情牵涉很复杂的历史背景，你用很简单的语言一句话，就他立刻打断他，他就跟 Copper 说：“等一下，这是你的节目，但是我要告诉你，我是一个100岁的人，我很了解那时候很背后的所有的事情。”可是看你节目的很多人 ，they're young generation， 他们是年轻的时代，他们并不了解历史背景，你不能用这个方式问。所以脑筋很清楚，还教训了 Copper。虽然 Copper 已经采访了他将近半世纪，所以这个人姜还是很好，很辣。然后他在这一次预言几件事情，第一个是乌克兰战争，他认为由于中国的介入，很可能在年底的时刻会出现和平谈判。第二个 ，Copper 就直接问他台海危机，他问他台海危机的几率有多高。基辛吉就直接告诉他，他不是回答几率有多高，他说这是急需关注的事情，因为它会演变成两个，他不是说军事2个科技国家之间全面的战争。从这个角度来看，这是一个非常危险的事情，急需我们全面的关注。所以他用了危险2个字，也需要美国关注。当然，他某个程度也谈到了过去他认为访问中国，包括安排基辛吉在1972年和毛泽东见面这件事情，他的看法，他说中国早就会融入了国际体系。所以问题是问他关于 Joe Biden 是不是会太老的问题。他说身体衰老很重要的事情是体力的问题，所以他对 Joe Biden 竞选连任本身，他认为会限制他的工作能力。
冷战时期，美国外交政策建构者，也是美国外交圈公认最聪明的头脑，前国务卿基辛吉5月27号迎接100岁生日。报道基辛吉约50年的美国新闻媒体人卡普，在基辛吉的人生将走过1世纪之际，特别前去采访他，访问他对当今全球局势，尤其是美中关系和俄乌战争的看法。
That Henry Kissinger is still alive will come as news to some people. He's hard of hearing, blind in one eye, and has had multiple heart surgery. He remains relevant on a global scale. If you had one of your aides here, pick up the phone and call Beijing and say, Dr. Kissinger would like to speak with President Xi, would he take your call?
There's a good chance that he'd take my call, yes.
What about the Russian president, Vladimir Putin?
Probably, yes.
He believes that the current crisis in Ukraine may be approaching a turning point.
Now that China has entered the negotiation, it will come to a head. I think by the end of the year, we will be talking about negotiating processes and even actual negotiation.
Back in July of 1958, a young Mike Wallace asked an even younger Harvard professor Henry Kissinger to explain why the threat of massive nuclear retaliation, which was then U.S. policy, made absolutely no sense.
This means that against almost any form of attack, we base our policy on a threat that will involve the destruction of all mankind. And this is too risky and I think too expensive.
In 1971, on a secret mission, Kissinger set the stage for Richard Nixon's historic visit to China the following year. Over the past 50 years, China has evolved to become a world power. As you look back now, is the world better off because of that opening, or is it a more dangerous place now?
No. China's re-entry into the international system would have happened. You cannot exclude it from the international system.
Today, China seems poised to take Taiwan by military force, and President Biden has said that the U.S. would come to Taiwan's defense.
So we have a problem, which is that it could evolve into a general war between two high-tech countries. That's something that requires urgent attention.
But it's a dangerous period.
From that point of view, it's a very dangerous period.
Mr. Secretary, if you ever felt that foreign policy was being manipulated for the sake of domestic political reasons, what would you do?
I would resign, and I would say so publicly. Foreign policy has to reflect the continuing values of the American people, and it cannot be the subject of partisan policy.
On the cusp of turning 100, you might think Kissinger's sympathetic to the notion of an 80-year-old or a 76-year-old running for president. He's skeptical.
It takes a certain capacity physically. There are some advantages in maturity. There are dangers in exhaustion and a limited capacity to work.
The nimbus of photographs surrounding Kissinger and displaying the former U.S. presidents, living and dead, whom he has served or advised, is compelling. Confirmation of the old adage, if you can do it, it ain't bragging. If a president were to come to you and say, Henry, would you fly to Moscow and talk to Putin?
I would be inclined to do it, yes. But I would be an advisor, not an active person.